All right, so welcome again to another reaction. You know what I mean? This time we have Captain Tazaryach up against um the other brother your name again, the Fight Back podcast. You understand? Some kickboxer or farmer kickboxer. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he's a white, so-called white nationalist as well. You know what I mean? So it's not a debate, it's a reaction to a discussion. So you know what I mean? As on jump in, remember to like, follow, share, you know what I mean, subscribe. And leave on the thoughts in the comments, you know what I mean? Without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into it now.
Drop that one. Here with Captain Tazaryach, back for the second time today.
Yeah, back for the second time.
It won't air in that order, probably.
Okay.
We'll do that one first.
Yeah, I know you're doing the
We're
other
gonna drop
one.
that one. Then
Right.
I'll probably drop this in a month or two.
Oh yeah, because you want to space it out. No, that's
Exactly. Can't have you on there too much.
good. Yeah. They be like, we got him
Can't have
as a
too many of
regular
these
on
black
there.
Jews.
Yeah.
I got a racist ass audience too.
They be like, come on, what are you doing, Jake? What are you doing?
Well, I talk to all kinds of controversial people. So I talk to white nationalists. So all of a sudden, you get these white nationalists. Why are you talking to black people?
I think you had my boy Tommy Sotomayor on before too,
I
right?
love Tommy.
Yeah.
See, I don't hate all black people. Some of my audience does. It's like
maybe. Well, Tommy talks like how you like though, right?
It's true. He goes hard. He goes hard after the black. He goes way harder than me. I'm just like, I'm gonna let this guy cook.
Yeah, Tommy is buck wild with it. Yeah.
He calls out some really, like we had earlier. It's not necessarily, at times you can criticize your own people. It's just like there's like how you do it. Like if I start bashing your own people, I'm gonna do it tactfully, you know. Like, oh, blackers dumb like this. Like there's something like tact and like respect and stuff. But it doesn't mean we can't acknowledge there's some real issues.
Right.
Just like you're gonna acknowledge there's some issues with whites.
Definitely.
We had a Jew, they wouldn't acknowledge a single fucking
At
issue,
all.
bro. Not one fucking issue. That's so annoying to me.
They call it crying. They call it victim.
Did he admit one issue? I don't know shitting the guy that's not here because he was nice because no one else would do the show. Everyone else was scared of you.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. I mean, I don't mind. I guess it's good to be a little feared, but I just don't know fear of conversation is crazy. It's just a conversation.
You always have a really bad reputation. Like people were like concerned for me going.
Yeah.
Even going to the house last night, guys like, bro, you really shouldn't go over there by yourself. Like, I just don't think like what are they?
What's gonna
I'm not
happen?
gonna go and disrespect them. I'm not dumb, you know.
Right,
like, yeah,
right.
If I go in there talking shit, like I'm not a stupid person. I understand that you guys aren't weak people, and you know. You don't,
yeah, I just don't get it. Like, what do they think we're gonna do? And we don't even have a history of being physically violent to people. Speaking, argue, debates and stuff like that. Yeah, but physically, we don't have that reputation.
Yeah. So all I ask is people treat with respect. I don't care if like my race, but I don't want them to start like bashing my race around me. That becomes disrespectful, you know. Yeah. And you guys, everyone's been affected.
You would have to do that to us first.
Exactly.
And if you don't do it and we don't do it, then nobody's doing it.
That's where I realize we're all on the same page. We understand basic respect, that it's like these lines that some of these idiots they go do with basic respect. Like, oh, why did that guy beat my ass? I can't figure out why.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll try to get some controversial shit today.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever questions you got, I'm ready to go.
Oh man, earlier we had a fun time. Other than not getting any fucking questions answered.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like when I asked him about how you are a Jew, he said, according to your mother. I said, show me. He didn't want to show that. A lot of people don't know when they call themselves Ashkenaz, that's a whole different tribe. So he didn't want to talk about that. And even when he brought the DNA part, when you actually look up that DNA, and anybody can look it up, they don't want to do the DNA test.
I think it's banned in Israel.
It's banned in Israel because of the controversies that are the show, because they teach you are Jewish by your mother. That doesn't make sense. It can only be, every ethnicity is determined by the father. If you just think from common sense, sperm, it goes into the woman and then it incubates into the woman. So whatever goes in is what comes out. So if white sperm goes in, white sperm comes out. Black sperm goes in, black child comes out. They reverse it. And that's why it's a religion, because that's only religious based. In the Bible or Torah, as they would say, it's always by the father, never by the mother.
I think the children are going to be my race. The children are my children. I claim
That's the whole importance of sleeping, within
with your own
race.
Yeah. People get
Because
bashed
then,
for saying that, but it's like
yeah,
there's nothing wrong.
no, because you know what happens when, even if, let's say if you took
I don't
two
hate
white
people that want to
people,
do the other either, but
yeah,
but it's like,
but you could say if you took a white woman and a white man, but they didn't believe the same things. When you raise a child, the child may pick up what his mother believes or pick up what the father believes. That's within the same race. Like if two black people get together, one believes in Christianity, one believes in Islam, it presents a problem.
Yes.
It's better to just be on the same accord. So now if you take
couldn't agree more.
two different races, you're forcing, and nobody thinks about that child. I think it's extremely selfish when a black person gets with a white person specifically, just based on our history, because when that child grows up, even if the mother, stuck in the middle, because let's say the white side family may not like the black side, or the black side family may not like the white side. And so when they're around, they calling this a half white baby or half this baby, half black baby. So either, right. And then the kid got to grow up with that type of stigma. I think it's extremely selfish when we intermix like that, because we're not supposed to, for those reasons. Nobody thinks about the damage that you do to a kid.
Something that I've noticed is really popular right now is white people adopting little black kids. And they're doing it like on purpose. It's like a little
I think it's like torture, man. Like,
it's so bizarre to me. Like lots of them are doing it. I actually know people personally that are doing it.
Lots of them are doing it, and I think
embarrassing.
What's that girl, Charlize Theron? I hate that white woman, because when she adopts the babies, she has them as being like trans kids.
Yeah. Oh, that is a big one too.
Yeah, she has them as like trans, like she has the boys as girls. And I do think it's like a pet or something. Now,
it's so racist. I think they act like they're anti-racist. But I think they're way more racist than someone like me who says my real thoughts.
Definitely, because you ain't trying to adopt no.
Yeah, like, and they purposely try and adopt little black kids. It's like they're trying to show they're not racist by having a black kid. They don't understand like things about them. Even things as simple as hair,
the lifestyle, the hair, the lifestyle, the thought process, everything. Like, there's a white experience that I would never understand.
Exactly.
And there's a black experience that you would never understand.
You'd have some white kids, you'd be like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you don't relate.
Like
the mental is different. The thought process, the way we communicate, the way we process things, it's all just different. And you force that upon a kid. And I do think it's a horrible. I mean, historically, when you think about slaves, they used to give white kids black slaves as gifts.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah. In history, they used to do stuff like that. So I don't know what the obsession is with black people from that adoption perspective.
It's something that's big right now, and it's fucking bizarre. I don't
think
like
it's extreme. Yeah, I don't like it either.
I couldn't imagine my girl being like, "Hey,
like
babe, I'm gonna go adopt a couple little black babies."
Yeah, it's like
get the fuck out of my house.
Torture to me. To even hear
the
that.
Kids, to the like all of it. The kid has to feel like when you're growing up, you're like, your identity is like,
they're gonna suffer from an identity crisis, because they're like, okay, I look this way, they look this way. Where do I fit? Sometimes you might hear them stories where when you adopt a kid of the same race, you might not tell them they're adopted.
Yeah.
Or it's easier for them to.
It's almost like better if it's a young kid,
right? And it's easier for them to accept being adopted because it's the same race of people. So although they got a mother or father that's not their birth parents, because they look the same, they can understand it. That kid that's adopted by somebody from another race might say, is this pity? Is this envy? And then, of course, they're probably going to go to an all-white school or all-black school, predominantly anyway.
Yeah,
like if you got white parents,
if you're going to go by your school, it's not fun.
And then now you got to go as a black kid to all-white school, or vice versa. And kids are honest, and this is a racist country. Like, when I mean by racist country,
the world's a little racist.
Stereotypes.
A lot.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, stereotypes exist.
It's in our DNA.
Yep. And those stereotypes exist, and adults don't have the mental filter. Kids for sure don't have it. Kids are gonna be honest. If you're white, they're gonna make fun of you being black. If you're black, they're gonna make fun of you being white. That's what kids do, because kids torture other
20
kids.
black kids and you're white, you're
gonna stand out like a sore
thumb. I've tried telling, I've had like people put in a kid, mostly black school. I'm telling them, dude, you're not And then the kids all of a sudden get beat up. It's like, I told you. They're trying to be like, oh, we're so progressive. It's like you're fucking abusing your child.
Yeah.
Especially if you like have money and shit.
Yeah,
also,
because we think kids is like
realistic.
kids is like a remote control car. We think kids is like a video game, or like they don't have feelings, and you never take into consideration. You're throwing them to the wolves, and you have not prepared them for that life.
I'd like to add there are exceptions. There could be situations where, like, let's say one of your good friends died and he was black. Maybe I'll take their kids. So there are people doing it for the right reason, but the people that are purposely getting babies that aren't their race, I think is fucking weird.
Yes,
it could be someone's friend, and it's like a fetish, bro.
It sounds like a fetish, a weird
fucking fetish. I don't like it. I'm sure you don't like it. Again, there's exceptions to every rule. You know, there could be a reason why you got these kids and you're taking care of a different race. But if you're purposely getting kids of a different fucking race, something's wrong with you. If you have a preference, you should want kids of your race,
of your own. You definitely should.
You want your kids to look like you.
I know I do.
The funny part is this is controversial.
Okay.
Thanks for watching Fight Back Podcast. If you like the show, like, subscribe, or share the video. There's also donation links in the descriptions. Right?
Yeah, that's a weird concept. That's a weird concept. But there's a lot of weird things that I see that takes place.
Things we're supposed to agree with and pretend like are normal.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that exists. What Elon Musk said recently about the peak white, I know that.
I don't agree on that.
Yeah, and
you could see those guys are a little easier than us whites, though, right?
Definitely. They're way more.
I'm glad you can acknowledge that.
Listen, the so-called Jew is way. He's a sleazeball because, see, if you take a racist regular white man, they're more direct. The Jewish man, he's like slick even with y'all and us. He wants to be more passive with his demonic behavior.
Yeah.
Like he want to be able to do it, but he don't want to take the credit for it, even though he's behind the scenes. Like you really gotta go behind, like Black Lives Matter, NAACP is like a black organization.
Yep.
But then when you go into it, you find out the Jewish man is behind it. You find out the Jewish man behind this. And then when you realize the agenda that Black Lives Matter have as far as removing the father, now you see why he's in it, but he doesn't want to be the face of it.
The BLM was trying to remove the father. That's right, it was lesbians.
Yeah, their whole entry was we're about the man, the woman. We're about the woman, the child, and the parent, because the parent represented the other woman.
Right,
and that was a part of their movement.
Like trying to get. You were right. They were trying to get rid of the family unit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a village.
Because the family union could be a woman and a woman. It could be a man. Like I don't like, and that's one thing I'll never understand about the LGBTQ community as a whole. Because if it's just about who you want to sleep with, right? Now I don't agree with none of it.
Yeah.
But let's say if it's just about who you want to sleep with, and you say that's your business, you're right. That's your business. You do it.
Yeah.
But then when you create an agenda where now I have to accept it.
Exactly.
Now you're forcing me. Like I can't, like I'm a man, like in our community, a man can have more than one wife.
Yeah.
But we don't force everybody to accept that.
It's great.
It's your business.
Like
yeah, I do
I'm
too.
I'm liking more about you guys.
Yeah,
we have a few big disagreements
like
still, but there's a lot more I like about you guys than I expected. I like that. And you held accountability. You meant how important the father is. Everyone always says, "Oh, it's racist to say black people need fathers." That's like such a father is needed.
No, when you look at the stats, black fathers that are in their kids' lives, those kids are extremely, extremely successful, and it's necessary. So when you take the LGBTQ, they make us accept it. They putting it on TV. They emasculate
cartoons,
everything.
On kids.
Cartoons.
Snoop Dogg.
Listen, man. When I saw, listen, I was proud of Snoop.
I know, I was too.
When I seen Snoop say he took his grandson out the movie theater because they had the gay scene in there, I was like, go ahead, Snoop. But then in the back of my head, that's what I'm going to get to. Yeah, so that's what happened first. He took his grandson out. Yeah. But in the back of my head, I'm like, man, he's an entertainer. He's probably not going to stand with it. And sure enough, he puts the gay thing in his cartoon because I guarantee you they either threaten his money, threaten his wealth, threaten XYZ. And that's what, and that agenda has a Jewish backbone too. That the gay agenda in Hollywood, the gay agenda on TV and music, that has a Jewish backbone too, and they just threaten your money. And then now it's like, are you going to stand with the money or are you going to do something else? And most people go with the money. But that LB, they're a terrorist group. They are a terrorist group. Either and women that support it the most, I'll never understand, because the woman, they like to call men male chauvinistic. That's what they like to call men. I don't think there's any people on the planet more chauvinistic than gay and trans women. Trans women are men that identify as women. And if you think about it, a straight man is just, let's say a straight man that's a bad person to women, meaning he uses them for their money or using them for sex.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get. The gay and the trans is telling women that their behind is better than their vagina. They've convinced,
they push sodomy on us.
You know what I think? I think BBLs, when people get the body work done, right?
Yeah.
The makeup, they get fake butts, fake breasts.
I don't like the fake butts.
I don't like fake nothing.
Yeah,
right.
Especially the fake butts.
And so, but I think that when them fake butts started coming out and started becoming popular, I think they became popular, and the trans community let them become popular because that also helped replace women. Meaning, a woman is not defined by just her physical. A woman has the ability to have kids. Yes. A woman has a natural femininity that's in her. And when you make it superficial, where I could just get breast implants, or you can, I ain't even say where a woman can get breast implants, a woman can get lip injections, a woman can get the butts, then a man goes and does the same thing. Now he can tell the men the same men you trying to get at, look, she ain't got nothing but a fake butt, so do I. And I think they've used that and manipulate women, and women don't even see the play coming. Women don't see that when you support gays and trans, really you're playing a part, because gays and trans are still men. So they still think with a man's conquering nature. A woman still thinks with a woman's submissive. Even lesbians, unless they like a hardcore man, like trying to be like a real man type of bulldagger type of lesbian type, even they're still feminine. Yeah. As they're being
Lots
lesbian.
of them go back to being straight again.
Right.
The pretty ones usually go back to being straight.
Exactly. And so, but that man is trying to conquer. And who is his threat? A woman. Because they don't, and the thing about the trans and the gays, they're not even trying to get another trans or gay person. They trying to turn a straight man out.
Yeah, because that's how they get them. That's why they go after our children.
Yeah.
And that Snoop was such a disappointment. I can't respect the guy.
That's why. Because
he needs to like apologize, but he probably won't. That's so embarrassing that he did that.
Kids are so impressionable, and I think part of the reason that they go after straight men or straight people, period, is because at one time they were straight and somebody came at them and then turned them. And so when you attack the children don't decide what they want to be.
No.
At 3 years old, they might want to be a firefighter. At 7, they might want to be Superman or something like that. They're a kid. Their mind is about imagination. And so if a kid comes to you and they're doing something that you know they're not supposed to do, if a kid steals, you're not going to say, okay, but they must be a thief, let them steal.
Yeah, you teach them.
You're going to teach them not to do it. If a kid wears the wrong shoes, if they're a girl and they're wearing their dad's shoes, if they're a boy wearing their mom's shoes, you don't look at it. That's not a sign to say,
you say you see him wearing the wrong shoe.
You see him wearing the wrong shoe and you just teach him to wear the right shoe. But I know stories of women that wanted girls, had a boy, so they raised a boy like a girl. Yeah, and, you know what I mean?
And parents are pushing them. It's the same parents who want the little black kids, like these
exactly.
These white, it's white parents. It's also being pushed at the schools, because my oldest daughter, she went to one of those liberal schools, and a lot of these girls around puberty, they're not really comfortable in their own bodies, and they identify as a man, they get treated way better. And a lot of them will outgrow it, but sometimes they won't. And
crazy.
I had a friend who had a daughter who started identifying as a boy, and he refused to call her that. For like 2 years, they barely talked, and just recently, he started being a girl again out of nowhere, and he called me like crying, like, my daughter's back, like.
Yeah, and you know why? Because he took them 2 years.
He refused to ever call her. He said he was still nice to her, but just refused to call her by the boy name. You know, 2 years later, like out of nowhere, she started wearing women's clothes again, started giving me hugs. He's just like, he got emotional.
That's a level of consistency that needs to exist. Like, I would never accept, if any of my children were to say that, I'm not accepting that nonsense.
As far as we have to, like, we have to love our kids and want them to like us, but they have to fear us a little bit too. They have to respect you. Some of these parents let their kids walk all over them, and it's like,
and we live in a society where it's like you could discipline your kid or disagree with your kid about everything except that. Like, think about that. Like, if they get doing drugs,
the courts are siding with the kids. Even I think in some of these cases,
Yeah,
kids.
that's
the father
the agenda.
Lost, I don't know the details, but a father like lost his kid battle with a woman wanting to turn their kid into a fucking girl. I don't know how old he is, maybe like 10 or something. Because
that's a crazy
evil, satanic people. Probably.
Yeah,
Jews.
this is a crazy like ass backward society where you just can't tell your child to be what they was born as. Because when they die, when we all die, and they look at them skeletons, they're gonna say, "Well, this was a male based on his makeup."
Yeah, archaeology says male, female.
Yeah.
No, that's something I'm not willing to cave and bend on. It's just truth. A man is a man, there's a woman.
And woman is a woman.
They're trying to really push back, but I can't believe people are so fucking weak. They just go along with this bullshit.
Money will do that. So, and they would, and I guarantee if you got Snoop by himself, or a lot of these people, they'll tell you, man, I'm just doing this for money. And they do everything for money. But at some point, you have to have some type of morality that supersedes money. You can't be that poor. And Snoop is not, I would imagine Snoop is not poor.
He has plenty of money, dude. For sure, he's multimillionaire. There comes a point there's more to money. Like I started speaking against when I saw kids getting killed in Palestine, and these guys did go after me hard. They tried canceling all my business. They were calling everyone, but luckily people I work with are loyal to me. It didn't really cost me much money, but they went after me hard. So you could understand why people are scared of those the
small
Ashkenazi Jews, the small hats. Yeah, they go after the banking. They try to destroy you.
That's why when we started with the other guy, that's why I brought up the Kyrie Irving with his book, because
that was great.
They gave Kyrie Irving so much hell, and he didn't say anything. He just made a tweet. But that movie was able to exist on Amazon for 7 years before he said anything about it, and it wasn't a problem until Kyrie did it. That was about control. That was about dominance. That was like, how dare you get out of place? Get back in line.
Go beg apology. Yeah,
go beg apology, and you got to always sit with some rabbi. I remember that happened to Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is another cat on Wild 'N Out. He had bought this guy by the name of Professor Griff on his show, and they was talking about like who's the real Jews and stuff like that, and they canceled him. And what did he have to do? He had to sit with a Jewish guy, Kanye West recently.
That was disappointing.
When I say disappointed, because Ye was like he was like a vanguard almost for as far as entertainers go.
Dropped Hell Hitler, and then he fucking
Even before that, he was saying how they wasn't the real Jew. He said, "We the real Jew too." He was battling. He was fighting him. He was fighting him for years, and he must have
kids maybe, or like that just made me sick when I saw that, because he dropped,
and then just see him sitting there with this Jewish man, and you just sitting there just bowing down.
What did they do to him? It's like, how did they get him too?
I don't know if he had a money threshold. I don't know if it's pressure. And it is a fight. Like if you're not
it's
built
a fight,
mentally,
they went after me hard.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like you really have to have the mental fortitude. Like even in the Bible it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. So if you're not willing to stand on your principles and endure it, it's not that many that can survive that. He was going at it for about, what was that? I think he started in like 2023, 2022, maybe something like that.
It was before everyone. People really turned to Israel when they saw the brutality of October 7th. They're doing the children. It was before that.
Right.
I remember watching him and Alex Jones. He's like, I love Hitler. And Alex Jones is like, no, Jesus way. And he's like, don't tell me what I mean, Alex. I love Hitler. I'm like, wow, this guy's.
You know what's crazy though?
Balls.
If for any Christian, this is what's crazy and what's going to go over a lot of people's head. But if you're a Christian, you have to love Hitler. If you're a Christian,
you have to love everyone.
You have to love it.
But that's what
they
Jones
taught us.
Trying to say that Kanye meant. Kanye is like, no, Alex, don't tell me what I mean. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay. So
he's like, I'm saying I love Hitler.
Outside of the Christian part, he's saying I love Hitler. Is what he's saying, because if you're a Christian, you got to love Hitler. You got to love Joseph Stalin. You got to love all of them if you're a Christian.
You know what's kind of brilliant about that song, Hell Hitler? a lot of people don't even realize it. He pissed off the white supremacists for that song too, because it was black guy saying N-word, hell Hitler. So that pissed off while the white, how you can't say N-word around and Hitler. So the white supremacists were pissed.
I bet every white person that played that song might not have said the N-word outside.
I mean, I might have rapped.
But when they, but when they was all by
banger,
themselves in the car, turning it up, they were saying N-word, Hitler, and they were saying it. Just like everybody does.
It's kind of hard not to, bro. It's a banger.
Yeah, if you listen to music, if you listen to black music, it's gonna be something that you say. That's why it's always important.
Songs to be like, there's gotta be context. Like, you can't say that word in a song. To me, I think that's like silly. I do know black guys that don't use the word at all themselves either, and it's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's some black people that don't use the word. I don't have an issue with the word at all. What made me not have an issue with the word was when I saw it in the Bible. That's kind of different for me now. When I was younger, growing up, of course, we all use it, and I think it's something where we just took this word, and for us, the N word is not necessary from black people's position. The N word is not confined to just calling black people that word.
Yeah,
we call anybody.
So a white person could be in a good or a bad way. It could be used as a negative or a positive term,
we would say a Chinese person, an Arab person. Like, we use that word. That's why it doesn't have a race epithet when we use it. But when other people use it, it has a race epithet because they're usually most of the time always using it specifically about us. Yeah. That's what people don't understand. Like, we didn't take that word and just make it to where we only call black people that word. We call anybody that word. Like, that N word, we apply it. And if I'm talking, and let's say if I'm talking, I think I said it when you listen to the playback on the interview, I think I said it about Adam. I think I said it to Adam like twice.
Probably.
Yeah. So when so it's just a word to us. Yeah. And our way of controlling how we're treated is to not let another race call us that word. Yeah. Like, another race can't call us the N-word, a coon, a
what if it's
spear
like someone
chucker.
Close to you and he's like, would that bother you?
What, somebody from another race?
Homie, another race, yeah.
Okay, I don't really have a lot of friends of another. Well, I tell you what, like
the Mexicans and shit.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if Puerto Ricans and stuff like that. No, if they was to use it, it wouldn't bother me. Yeah, because they're my people. So if you're my people, you can use it. It's only if you're not my people, you can't use the word.
Yeah, the black nationalist didn't use it. I don't know if it's correct or not, but he said the reason he hates it because originally around the Marcus Garvey time, it was pushed by Jews to try to like get black people to belittle themselves, and it was brought back in hip hop.
Was his name Ayo Kamathi?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
Well,
like,
he don't like many white people, but he's like, I don't like white people, but you.
Me and him did some work together in the past. So when you it sounded like that's
because he don't like very many white people. He's like, I kind of like.
Yeah, he don't. Listen, he's
people saw me talking to white people, they would be surprised.
But you got to be able to get into these spaces. I think we got to get to a space
where conversations and try to actually understand each other. Try to hear where you're coming from.
You know what? Be surprised.
I stopped using that word after he said that. Because occasionally, to me, I feel like people are trying to like dominate me power wise and stuff. But I'm like, okay, you changed my opinion on that. Unless I'm singing Win Long Kanye.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, because I think if they allow us to have more of the conversation, I think we could do more help to America than hiding the conversation, because everybody's doing it, but nobody wants to face that they're doing it. And you can't heal, even if you want to call it a healing, if you want to say get into a next step, how do we get past this? You can't get past it by sweeping the conversation under the rug. That's why Trump is so offensive. Trump is so offensive because nobody wants to just face the type of country that we live in.
Yeah, and
we live in a racist. We live in a racist country, and people. I remember when people voted for Joe Biden, they thought Joe Biden was better than Trump. And I remember playing this video where Joe Biden called young black kids roaches.
Exactly. He
said, and they touching my leg, and they remind me of the roaches
too. I think he called them right, like roaches. Damn, roaches is way worse.
Roaches is worse.
Roaches is bad. Roaches is really bad.
Yeah, Bill Clinton and Hillary the one did the super predators, but
roaches is worse though.
Yeah,
roaches,
he called us roaches.
Bad. That's like
and he could say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And for some reason, now if Trump would have said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, they would have crucified him.
Right.
Joe Biden says it, and they still voted for him.
It's crazy.
And so
most black people voted for Biden still, right? Most black people vote
Democratic. Because they're thinking that Trump is going to be worse than Biden, not realizing
Democrats
Trump and Biden are the same.
Yeah,
Democrats.
There's no real difference. Yeah, I didn't vote last
I
election.
would say Democrats hate black people more than Republicans because of their hiding of it. See, like the difference between Democrat and Republican, a Republican is going to put his racism out on the forefront.
Yeah.
He's going to say it directly.
Yeah.
The Democrat is going to be like, no, we're not like that. And then still do
We're
it.
Sorry that you don't know how to get an ID. We're not racist.
Right. You know what I mean? Like that's how
they're calling you dumb, basically.
Yeah, that's how the Democrat do it. And then we just get rocked to sleep when it would be better for us to not care about the Democrats or Republicans and then just do our own thing.
I think, like you're saying, it's like you really got to do it yourself. So it's like everyone, oh, I help. It's like you can help a little bit. Not saying white people can't help at all, you know, but it's not really.
If black people put as much effort,
black leaders.
Yeah, black people put as much effort in our own communities as we do in these racial elections, these government officials, we would get more work done. If we just did more policing ourselves, more governing of ourselves, like what we want. Yeah, because when I'm saying policing ourselves, like, you know, we talk about when white on white crime happens, but we don't talk a lot when we do it to ourselves. That's where ISUBK, the school I'm in, we come into play. Like, we are brothers that have corrected ourselves from the evil that we did.
Lots of guys are like former immigrants and stuff, right? And they've learned like, oh, this isn't the path forward.
No, it's not. And it ain't even just about
understand how they got there, though.
Yeah, and it's not. It's so for Israelites, it's whatever you were doing. So if you was an inmate, if you was a cop, if whatever you was that was detrimental to your community, to your family, to your structure, we teach you to first correct that. That's why when we talk about it, so if I talk about what white people do to black people, I'm free to talk about it because I corrected myself and I teach to correct others.
Yeah.
As opposed to when most black people talk about it, they're not correcting themselves.
They're only criticizing us.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can handle some criticism from you a little more, because you're also criticizing your own.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Like when guys only everything's the white person's fault. That was the problem with the Jewish guy. He was trying to act like we were only blaming him. It's like, no, you're just not taking any accountability.
Yeah, he didn't want to take
accountability. You're taking
he didn't want to take nothing. It's like the minute you put anything on to me, like, nah, I ain't agreeing with that. And that's the dishonesty.
You can't move forward without being like, oh yeah, we've wronged you guys some. You know, you can't move forward without first admitting that.
And they're the biggest. The Jewish man is the biggest. Not so much that, but he's the biggest one that never lets anything go. Like, they still get reparations.
Talk about Rome still. They get reparations.
Yeah, they still get the reparations. They still get government funding. They get all the support from America, and it's still not enough. They'll take more.
It's never enough. They always want more, and it's never any thanks.
Yeah, like that Middle East.
They're always the one helping you.
They won't be happy till they get that whole Middle East and take everything from Palestine, Iran, and all of that. When they do that, then
the Greater Israel Project, you probably know about that. It sounds like they want the whole thing.
They want the whole entire thing. That was the game plan since the Belfort Act. That's all they was planning on doing, and that's what they're gonna do. And so
atheist Jews convinced Christian Zionists that they're that God gave no land, and that's mostly my people that fell for that. The white Christian Zionists,
definitely. And I think it was a money play.
So my people falling. How are you falling for this shit and bending over backwards again, worshiping these Jews?
I think the idea, like power, money, and power, can definitely have a great influence. I don't want to use the word surprise, but Trump, I didn't think he would flip to the Jewish side that fast.
Like hardcore, too.
Like, I mean, I was saying earlier, when Elon Musk, he did the whole Hail Hitler sign when Trump got the election. I thought he was going to be directly for just white America. I know y'all was ready for it.
I knew he was a bitch the second time around. His first term, I was like, all right, we got one of us. But I realized after I saw he was doing these private little speeches at Jewish events, basically saying he was going to do everything they wanted. So I didn't vote in this last election.
Oh, you didn't vote at all? Okay.
It's even worse than I thought, though.
Like, yeah.
He's trying
because
to
he might as well just call him Donald the Jew Trump. That's what you Trump.
You know,
Elon the Jew.
His brother was in an all Jewish fraternity.
Oh, I didn't know
There's
that.
some people that claim that he's a Jew. I think that's probably not the truth, but his dad did. They probably just wanted those ties. His dad gave tons of money to Jewish causes. Trump did. I think there's just, they want that money in that Jewish world.
Yeah, and they put their hand in a lot of different things. Like when y'all two come together, whew.
I mean, Jews and whites, nothing bad. I hate the fucking white man that serves the Jew more than anything. It's like a trade. They've traded my own race. I mean, I'm sure you don't like.
Yeah, that's something that's something that we're seeing. Like, well, I used to, it's interesting as I've been doing and teaching this, I had to get used to hearing how whites hated
how a lot of white
so-called Jews.
You thought you look at it exactly the same.
Yeah, and so. And then when I started delving into, World War II with Germany, there's a famous speech that Hitler gave in regards to the so-called Jew. And he was kind of chastising France, Britain, and he was like, y'all getting mad at me because I don't want to keep them here, but y'all not accepting them.
Nobody wanted them.
Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted them. That's why I said, like earlier, anybody can look it up. They was going to go to South America. They was going to go to Africa. And then they just settled in the Middle East, and then just said
bombing it.
Yeah, they just said we're the Jew, and
they use their political power and money to get them to give the land. Palestinians ain't got no political power and money.
And they'll never be able to have. They'll never have peace in the Middle East. It'll never be peace until
they're never happy.
The war comes.
More and more.
There's
not enough. Not enough.
Money, the only way that there'll be any peace is a World War III. That's it. It's going to have to happen. I actually thought it was going to be close when Iran was going to war with Palestine.
They were fucking
and I thought Russia was going to back them. I thought, okay, we right there. And I'm thinking we right there. And then, they ended up backing off and having a treaty or whatever that they signed, a peace or whatever. But that land won't be peace until there's a third world war. It won't be I know they think they're getting the third temple. It's not going to happen. None of that's going to happen until World War III.
They're ready to
comes.
build that. They want fucking... Yeah. But I don't want my kids dying in any Jewish wars.
Hey guys, I'm demonetized everywhere. So if you want to support me and the podcast, go to fightbackpodcast.com and you can buy some cool merch like the shirt I'm wearing now. As many of you guys know, I run a free speech podcast. That comes as a price. It's being demonetized everywhere. So one way to support the podcast is to buy your books from AntelopeHillPublishing.com. Today's selection is the Trans Industrial Complex. This book covers the money-making machine of the trans industries and shows it's not to help people, but to make money and get rich. So again, if you want to support the podcast, go to AntelopeHillPublishing.com and be sure to use promo code FIGHTBACK. That'll save you money and support me. Thank you.
Even World War II, what happened? Hitler shut down the Jewish banks. His economy started thriving. Then, Judea declared war on Germany.
Because they don't share. I think that's the biggest gripe that whites have with the so-called Jew is that they don't share. As they're getting in power, they keep it all to themselves. They don't share with.
You don't put like BlackRock, for example. They're like the biggest asset management companies. Only Jews in the top positions. They won't. They're the same people that push diversity everywhere else, but they won't put a Jew in. They'll have like somewhere, maybe a non-Jew as a janitor, but you ain't getting.
And then they make enough noise where you're fighting the diversity at the lower level, so it's like everywhere else that you're not thinking about them up top. Or they know how to play the game,
and they can go back and forth between being white and Jewish. It's like, oh, I'm white, or oh, I'm Jewish. When you start bashing white people, oh, but I'm a Jew, I help you. No one's helped you more than a Jew.
And their favorite thing, anti-Semitism. When all else fails, that's anti-Semitic. You can't. And people are afraid of anti-Semitic because them so-called Jews will unite. Yes, they will unite and shut everything down. And that's the fear that they put in there. Even in the music, think about it. In the music industry, you can rap about everything, but you cannot rap and say anything about the so-called Jew.
You can literally have a song about how you want to kill people, which will be pushed. But then Michael Jackson wrote a song where he says, sue me, some things, kick
sue
me,
Jew me. Yeah. Jew.
Then we're totally fine, but that song.
Yeah, you can't say Jew me. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
That's what they do. Now, in that instance, that's when I wish that black entertainers would do the same thing with the N-word. That's when I do. Like when if they say, okay, you can't do this, and we see what the so-called Jew is doing, then black people should take a better stranglehold and say, okay, well, if we can't say the J word, if we can't say the K word, then you can't say the N word. We can't publish the N word. We're tired of you allowing us to do this about each other, and it's just a form of expression. But when we want to have that form of expression about you, we can't.
Right.
And then now you can make a change. That's my issue with entertainers. Entertainers feed the narrative. Like, you can have an artist like Kendrick Lamar, and there's a lot of Kendrick Lamars out there, but they only allow Kendrick Lamar to be that artist.
They choose who they push
Right.
through.
Meaning, like, okay, Kendrick Lamar is the one token rapper that will let rap like this, but everybody else got to rap like killing, drug selling, prostitution, stuff like that. And we need more of the Kendricks and less of that. And I don't fault the rappers. And the reason why I don't fault the rappers as far as the music is because to be black in America and to be successful in America, you have to be the miracle. If you're not a straight up miracle,
most guys aren't going to make the football.
No, most guys aren't going to make it as successfully in business, successfully in sports, successfully in education, because the stacks are always against us.
A lot of times they don't even have a father half the time.
Right.
They don't know.
So their come up is rap, sports, something like sometimes drugs. I'm not justifying it, but that's the mind state when you take a young black kid who can't eat.
I grew up in a poor white area.
Yeah, and so imagine shit, you don't have nothing to eat. Yeah. You're fighting all the time. You're looking for a quick way to make money. How can I do it? Okay, I'm a rap. Okay, what can I rap about? Okay, I don't want to rap about this, but this is what's making money. That young black kid is going to go with what he feels making money.
Way more than the black kid
that's why I do like the streamers. What I like the streamers like the Kai Sinats, the DDGs. So much money,
bro. I didn't realize the kind of money they're making.
Yeah, the streamers is and what I like about it is that these are young black men that have seen that, hey, I don't have to live a wild lifestyle and I can just go live and then I can just do it this way. So now that's another way to do it. But then now the danger with that is content can make you go crazy too. When you try to be controversial,
too much all the time.
Yeah, and you always looking for what can I go crazy with again? What can I do here?
Trying to outdo yourself.
Right. Exactly. Especially if you catch a real good strike and you get a lot of a reaction from that, you start thinking, okay, I got to go more extreme and then more extreme. Mm-hmm. So all of those things is different levels, but we just need a better handle.
I think interesting you mentioned earlier, like, kids without meals and shit, most people don't understand that. I grew up in a poor white neighborhood where a lot of the kids, I always had food at home, thankfully, poor, but I always had food, but a lot of my friends wouldn't have food and shit. And you see these Republicans being like, oh, let's get rid of school lunches. Like, that might be some kids' only fucking meal of the day. These people just never a kid's fault.
Yeah, like America, listen, man, you think like America hates the poor.
Yeah.
And America's supposed to, like, if you're a government, like even with the government shutdown when they did the SNAP and they made it be about black people. And this is sometimes like as much as I talk about white people, there's some conversations to give a sense of reality. I don't talk from a racist standpoint. Mm-hmm. And so they made SNAP like a Gadar.
Passed out.
You're snoring hard, Salakia. Sometimes, so with SNAP, so I'm gonna say it again because I know you're gonna edit that part out. When it comes to SNAP, and it goes right with the food lunch program, the government shuts down, and as they're shutting down, SNAP represents like 1% of the funding of the government, and they made SNAP be about black people.
But it's white people too, yeah.
It's SNAP is a poor people thing.
People need to eat. It's like, can we at least give them food? I'm
not and that's why I say like America hates the rich. And you know what America? Do you know what America did to cut SNAP and make white people believe that it was okay? They made America believe that cutting SNAP was going to hurt black people
and not white
people. And not white people. And white people, because they hate black people, they didn't care about it. And then the SNAP got cut. Mm-hmm. And then they started seeing just how much they needed
older
food.
People too, like
right.
Older people.
Then they start seeing how much white people needed food, just like black people needed food, just like Asians needed food, just like poor people need food. You're always going to have poor people.
Yeah.
And a country or a kingdom or a nation is supposed to take care of the poor.
At least food. I'm not for giving like tons of money, people, but at least fucking food. We're rich in a
It's just
country where you
food.
give food and like medical care.
Yeah, it's
You know,
just
people think I'm
food
some
and
crazy,
medical
hard,
care.
right person.
Right.
People deserve to fucking eat and medical care. I rent out a house. You know, the
Mhm.
unit hit me up. Can I have $50 off rent because the snap's out? I've had a good year. I'm like, just why don't you just don't pay rent this month? And she was
Mhm.
just so ecstatic. But like, to me, I've had a good year, so that didn't make much of a difference in my life
Right.
at all. But that month to her, she was just in shock. She can buy her
Right.
kids presents now. She was just like, you know, about to cry, just like, oh my God, I can like, are
But
you
see,
serious?
that would
You
mean
know?
that you have more care than the government has care.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the government will use the racism, and that's what I mean when I say America is racist and America hates even
well, this is a white
their
girl
own.
still, but just the fact that $50.
No,
she
no,
couldn't
no. What I'm
afford because
saying,
of food, that just made me.
no,
that
I'm
made
not
me
talking
hurt,
about
you know,
you
and I
racist.
realized, yeah, no,
I'm not talking about you racist. I'm talking about
I'm
America,
a little racist, but not that racist.
but America. No, I know that part. But what I'm saying, America
you know, I'm a little
used
racist.
our racism to make you think that SNAP was going to hurt only black people, and SNAP hurt more white people than it did black people. You're seeing the lines, you're seeing all of this, and that's how nasty America can be. And without,
it's just, you know, people just don't. Yeah, they just don't care. To me, hearing like, oh, you can't afford food. Of course, I'm going to cut the rent. Like that made me like, oh, maybe I should cut your rent a little more overall. I'm doing good right now. It's
Mhm.
like, fuck. People get too greedy. It's like, how much fucking
Yeah.
money do you need?
and
Like,
that's
I'm not
surprising
rich,
because
I'm
in a
not rich, but I'm
capitalist
comfortable right
society,
now.
you wouldn't cut that. Like America is a capitalist place. Like, why am I going to cut that? Pay my rent.
Yeah, a Jew wouldn't do that.
Yeah, hell no.
I'm
Hell
just
no.
like, let's don't have a fucking Christmas. Let like kids have kids. You know, I've been around growing up around so many poor kids that didn't get presents. I'm sure you have too. A lot of people don't understand the.
We don't
And I'm not
celebrate
ex-
Christmas.
And I'm not. Yeah, well, okay, then that's a different thing. But black people in general, though.
Yeah, they do.
And it's not
Like, this is
I'm
a
not
rough time
excusing- I'm not
because most
excusing
black
everything
people are
do,
set-
by the way. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
being like too. I'm not trying to be my eyes and get pissed. Maybe I'm being a little too. But I've seen the other side of these communities of how they grow up. And it's not fucking easy.
No, it's not. And I think that this is a rough time because Christmas is very oppressive for poor people. So poor black people going through no SNAP or no food stamps. They want to get their kids gifts.
It sucks.
Jobs,
Parents, you
AI
can't
is
afford
taking
it,
a lot
you
of
know.
jobs. The economy is not as good as it once was. The cost of, even when you got snaps, the cost of food is so high. All of that coming to
Food's
play.
crazy
Food is
expensive.
crazy.
Like, I knew pretty well when I go to the
expensive.
grocery store. I'm like, holy shit.
Man, I think I had bought some eggs, cheese, orange juice or something, and it came to like $30. And I'm looking at like 5 items and I'm like, why is this costing?
Yeah, so if you have multiple kids and shit,
Yeah.
brutal.
And then it's not even going to last long because you got to feed the kids. You got to do all those things. Like America is really messed up right now as a society. And I know people thought it was
it's
going
not
to be
just
better.
black people, it's all people. People are like suffering, and a lot of the old people are in denial of all the job outlook isn't good, the porn addictions, the drug addictions,
You said the porn addiction?
porn addiction's a big problem.
Yeah, porn addiction is something else because you can get like social media plays a part in that porn because it's feeding it. It's feeding it in a sense when you go on Instagram and you got all these Insta thoughts on there, or you go on Facebook, you got OnlyFans, you got all this stuff. So the access to that stuff is insane.
I'm so glad I didn't have growing up. I didn't have that access. I'm glad I didn't. I probably would have been.
Yeah,
on there.
we were better. I think.
Yeah, we did.
like
I didn't have access, so I just. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I think this society because, and the danger of it when we go back to kids, because you know you give these kids these smartphones, and it's so easy for them to access anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If they
most hardcore pornography, death,
and then they can learn to hide it from you. They can learn all those different things, and now you got to wonder what's on their channel. You can childproof it, but then they can learn how to hack it and stuff like that. So the access that our kids, they're just growing up too fast. Like kids shouldn't, like sex shouldn't be forced on kids. Lifestyle shouldn't be forced on kids. Drugs shouldn't be forced on kids. There's no, even when I was growing up, they used to be like cartoons and TV shows that was about educating kids on how to just be kids, how to grow up, how to adjust with peer pressure, how to deal with all these different things. And now all of that's gone. Now it's just watch cartoons till maybe 10 and then you're an adult.
Yeah.
And then now you
Some of these
just rush
cartoons
right
might
into
have
that
two boys
lifestyle.
kissing.
Yep, that's the other crazy part.
You
Two
gotta
boys
pay attention to
kissing,
what your
two
kid's
girls
watching,
kissing.
yeah.
It's
a deliberate tack. It seems like I don't think it's.
you know what's crazy? I watch old cartoons, and these are Jewish cartoons too. And I remember there was this one cartoon with Mickey Mouse making cheese.
Mhm.
And as he's making cheese, and he's the cheese is rolling down the conveyor belt. And as it's rolling down the conveyor belt, he got to put the holes in the cheese.
Mhm.
And he takes the cheese in his hand, and it's his penis making the holes in the cheese.
What?
Yep, I'm gonna send the video to you when this is over.
Jesus.
There's other videos where the cartoon character is getting cut with a saw, but the way it's going in and out of them, it's very sexual.
Yeah.
And so I start looking at these cartoons, and you start realizing that they put a lot of sexual imagery in the
They put
cartoons.
pedophilia signs and stuff on there too. That PTA stuff you're looking into,
Yep.
like there's some like truth behind that.
All of that stuff. And so
I
we
think
got
they
to
put
be,
some fake things they mixed in to make it look crazy, but then parts of it are true.
and that's why for us as Israelites, that's why we be talking about America burning or this kingdom being destroyed, because look at this kingdom. Look at how
It's like Weimar
disgusting
Germany.
is that. There's no morality in America. None. There's only the only morality is what you make it. Even Trump cusses. Like Trump is cussing, Vice President Vance is cussing. Like presidents didn't speak like that
Yeah.
in before time. Presidents didn't do that at all. Presidents were more so respectable. If they talk like that, they talk like that behind the scenes. They didn't talk like that in front of the nation.
Mhm.
But he's like, you ever see the movie Idiocracy?
Yeah.
With the rock star president? That's what I call Donald Trump.
No,
Donald Trump is that rock star type of president.
He's funny, but he's an idiot.
He does it, and he ain't got to be. He can talk trash. He can talk slick. He's a child president. He just happens to be in charge, and I even think that's on purpose. That's on purpose. I'm interested to see as we approach 2026 and 2027. I'm interested to see if he's really going to fight for a third term.
It'd be crazy if he does.
I
I think it
mean-
would be too difficult, but fucking who knows?
Yeah.
So let's switch up a little bit to black and white people.
Okay.
Do you think it's better off we live separately? Or you think we're too different to like
I definitely think we should live separately. I think that
at least that's the option? Like there should be some maybe. I think the country's too mixed in, but there should be maybe counties or states.
the way you
or, like,
fix it, I think that's the greatest reparation that I could think of that could take place. Like if they was to carve out a section, and it's not something that would happen right away.
Yeah, it'd be a slow.
But it'd be a slow
difficult
thing.
process,
But
yeah.
if they allowed us to have our own, it's either because the only other thing is to move out of our cities that were ours in the first place, but you might not do that. But I do think it's better because we're like oil and water. Every time they throw us together, we can't join, we can't separate, we can't join, we can't separate, we can't join. We just like this.
Fighting
this.
And, yeah, well,
Yep.
little unity, fighting, little unity.
And they can't say crime
the
because
Jews keep helping you.
I think the Jews, the so-called Jew just abuses us. It's like
they like putting us against each other, I think.
Mhm.
So they come in and be like, we're helping you, these terrible white people, look what they've done to you.
I think
we're gonna
that-
come help lift you up.
Yeah, I
You
think
can't
both
do it on your
sides.
own.
I think in some cases, I think both sides use us. And that's why I think like when you say the separation, I think separation from
People will
the
try to
whites
use it, for
and
sure.
the Jews and us, we should all be separated. Now, what y'all choose to do, that's up to y'all. But I think there's an abuse from both. I'll say this for you this time. The so-called Jew and y'all, we should be separated from both because we get used by both. And we don't know, like y'all have a table.
Yeah.
Like y'all have, like if this is a table, y'all are sitting at the table. We haven't developed at the table yet. And so that's why you can come and you might take advantage of us. The so-called Jew will come and they might take advantage of us.
Always
We
acting
don't
like
see
they're
the
helping.
play.
Always acting like they're helping. But
Right.
getting stabbed in the back
Both
over and
sides.
over.
And so we don't see the play because we're just trying to come up. Like black people are still in that come up phase. And as long as we're in that come up phase, we're going to look at it like, okay, I'm going to let them use me so I can get here. I'm going to let them use me so I can get here. But we never get where we want to be when we should just say, I'm not going to use either one of them until I get to the table. Because now once you get to the table on your own, now you can set your own standard. You can set your own rules.
You have a
can
lot
set
more pride,
right,
self-respect,
and
people
power.
around you, and power. Yeah, true
because
power.
you'll be respected.
Because like it is now, it's the labels. they're signing. That ain't true power if you're a basketball team with the owners, Jewish or white, a record label, a movie star. You're not the one signing these deals.
Especially when we had the opportunities, when we had like the Negro leagues and we had a baseball team and stuff like that. And even when
your own doctors, teachers,
had own doctors, schools, hospitals, we had our own everything.
I didn't realize this. I was talking to a black guy and he was explaining how much thriving. That's the first time I heard the argument under segregation, how much he's like, well, we're not even saying it was a good thing. He's all, but we were thriving under that. And then look what happened. He's like,
and if we would have just stuck, like Jim Crow was a horrible time, I would never say
it was
that we had it. Yeah. So I think people, there's two sides of the argument. So we don't have it better now than we did then, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
From the segregation and the Jim Crow and how often we were lynched and how often we was persecuted, we have it better now.
Yeah.
From a family structure, we had it better then.
Yeah, by a lot, right?
Right.
Way better than.
Right. And what I would say is that if we had the family structure, we would fully be better now.
I think that is the biggest single issue. There's lots of issues. I think that is probably the biggest single issue.
You fix that. If you fix the family structure in the black community, you fix everything. And that's not a black thing. That's any
white
nation.
Families that don't have fathers, and stuff, the kids way more likely to go to jail, way more likely to.
And that's why I try to have these conversations, because people look at it like when we're saying the black family structure, it's like woe is me, but I don't know no race of people that could exist if their family structure is not together. The mother and father has to be together.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to generationally pass that down, because kids emulate what they see. So if all we've seen in the black community is single parent homes, kids believe that that's the norm.
So they don't.
And it's not supposed
kids,
And so it's not supposed to be the norm. And then this is when I say when we trying to come up. So as we trying to come up, if the so-called Jew is trying to take advantage of that, what does he do? He says, I'm gonna give y'all Real Housewives of Atlanta, but y'all gotta act like clowns.
Jesus.
You gotta argue. You gotta fight. I'm gonna give y'all The Wire, but you gotta be drug dealers, and the gangster gotta be a homosexual. I'm gonna give y'all this. I'm gonna give y'all that. I'm gonna give y'all this. So without that, now if we have family structure,
but they're desperate to take something. So they're giving us something, but they're giving you something with poison in it.
Yeah, exactly. You're giving us something that you're gonna drink, but it got some poison in it, and you got to try to survive the poison, and then we never get anywhere.
Yeah, you never get any real power.
We've never had no power. The greatest power we had, I always say, was that boycott Martin Luther King did was power, but he was weak because when you affected the dollar, it affected change. And he was supposed to take that and keep us separate
against the money issue.
Yeah, and what he wasn't supposed to take that and say, okay, let's get into more white stores and white water fountains and white restaurants. He was supposed to say, let's keep it here. Let's keep it with us and just continue to build, because they weren't racist like us. They were still trying to be civilized with white people, but they should have kept building their own. But instead of wanting to build their own, they wanted to build mixed in, and the white man comes and said, okay, well, y'all want to mix in, I'm gonna do it my way.
They had more money to back.
At that time, y'all got like a 300 or 400 year head start. We're just building 50 years.
Then we're competing instantly.
Right. When we wasn't in the position,
wasn't ready,
we was just building. And if we were to just building without trying to compete and want and desire of all things from you guys, we would have just built ours and been content with that, and we'd be way better off.
But they came in, they wiped out the black businesses, the doctors.
And we're supposed to build that back up.
I think it needs to be built back up. Like guys like you actually are having these conversations.
Yes, we are.
Drugs,
and we are, and we are building. So we have some farms and stuff like that.
Obviously we're not going to agree on some things, like the whole racist part, but hey, but no, you're doing shit though. Like I can respect that. It's like you're actually trying to have accountability and make change.
Yeah. And I think that's the point. And I think that's what black people have to see the most. And sometimes you have to separate before you could ever have any type of conversation. And the separation allows us to come together. We can't love everything.
Yeah.
You gotta be single. You gotta be able to love at least one thing first before you can love two things. And so for us, we got to love each other first.
Together, Well, say the thing is, I try to tell people, like, okay, let's say every black guy or every white guy is extremely racist. It's a big problem. But if we all stop being racist tomorrow, would black people be much better off? Probably not.
No, I think it would.
They'd be a little better off, but I think a lot of it has to be
I think
built
because
up
if
still.
y'all stop, like y'all racism is like the drugs, the police brutality and stuff like that. And I think if we can,
drugs that being flooded in the communities,
in the communities, like we're wrong for selling it.
I know,
But the way it gets in the community is what I'm talking
the
about.
crack and stuff. Right?
Yeah, if y'all cut that element off and no longer allow the drug cartels to bring the drugs into America to get to us. Yeah, if they no longer allow that, then we can't sell drugs. Now we got to do something else. So we're weak for accepting the drugs from you guys. But I do blame y'all because y'all bring it in. But I also blame myself.
Take some responsibility. Yeah, at least take some responsibility. At least take some of it.
Yeah. I'll put 55% of the responsibility on us, 45 on y'all. That gives us more accountability because y'all, it's tough because y'all kind of put us in a rough condition to where we think that's the only way out. But even when I've been in the truth, so since I've been an Israelite, I've lost jobs, and I've hustled in the past. Yeah, and I've lost jobs and stuff like that, but it never made me say, let me resort back to what I used to do. I resisted that. As hard as it might be,
it could be hard at times.
Yeah, because you might not be able to buy what you used to buy, eat what you used to eat.
But used to live in a certain
it forces you, but it forces you to grind a little harder to make sure you do it the right way, and you could do it. We just don't believe that we can come out this condition.
Belief, that is big right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Once you have belief, you can accomplish something. If you don't believe it, you can't accomplish. They said I grew up in a poor area too. Some of these kids, lots of them are dead, OD'd. Once I had a little belief I could accomplish something, got into fighting, I believe in a world title, that gave me something to drive. My life could have so easily ended up a completely different path.
And that's where compassion comes in for my people, because when I see them and I see the despair that they have, like it's a lot of despair in the Black communities, the Hispanic communities, the Taino communities. It's a lot of despair. And somebody has to go and give them hope. And the more we can give them hope, the better that they can become themselves. And I'm a witness to seeing it like grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And we're young when it comes to, if you want to use the word religion, we don't call ourselves religion, but if they want to look at it from a religious perspective, the Israelites are young. Like my organization started in 1969. So you talk about 50 something years.
Yeah. Not a little bit.
A little bit more. Let me see, 70, that's 30. Yeah, 50 something years of us building this organization. So we're young. And so now we're just starting to catch on where people want to talk to us and hear what we got to say and start reaching more people.
Maybe these conversations will make people be like, oh, these guys aren't as crazy as I thought.
No, we're not. I mean, when we're out on the street, what a lot of people got to understand, when we're out on the street, you have to speak loud. Number one, you're talking into a mic. You're trying to project your voice. You're speaking about current events and the atrocities that are happening to Black people by ourselves and others. And so it's going to come across aggressive, and then people come and challenge you, and we're men.
Yeah. So
and be a few, I think seeing Black men in a dominant role is scary, because it's like, what are they going to do? Because for the most part, America has made Black men docile. America has made Latino men docile.
White men docile.
That's a new thing.
Yeah, recently though.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Docile,
right? But they've been teaching Black men to be docile. They've been teaching like a strong Black man is always going to be a threat.
I think there's a new attack on Black men every week or two, though, like putting Black men on dresses recently.
Yeah,
we've been seeing like I think Black men have kept a little masculinity, and these white men they're trying to fucking get the white man to be fucking weak too. I think they're doing it to both of us.
Yeah, and I think so. When we come out and speak and we're strong, it does throw people aback. But for every person that has thought that we was, super crazy, going to do something to them, I'm talking about white people now. Whenever I sit and actually have a conversation with them, when the conversation is over, it's always different, because we're not unintelligent men.
Yeah,
we are extremely intelligent, and because we're intelligent and we're angry, like the Bible says, be angry and sin not. So I can be angry and not harm you.
Yeah,
I can be angry and still talk to you with intelligence and not speak just from my heart on my sleeve and just you white, and white devil this and white devil that. I could speak with, it's not because you're white, it's the crimes that you committed. What you call yourself is irrelevant.
Yeah.
If these were Hawaiian people, I would feel the same way if Hawaiians did this to me.
I think both of our sides can get hatred. Like white people can be like, oh, Black people did more crime. They robbed this, they do this, without looking at the, life's fucking complex. Like if you look how they got there, doesn't excuse it,
Mhm.
but you could see.
Yeah,
both
when it comes,
sides
even
could be
with
a little,
crime, like crime is not a black thing or a white thing.
typically,
Crime
yeah,
is crime is an American thing because America is a criminal country. Like when we think about America was founded by just murdering some people and taking it. Then going to civil war with the British, created the 13 colonies. Then when they wanted to expand, they did more murdering and more killing. Then once they established it, then they brought alcoholism, and then you had the Italians and stuff like that. The Irish come over here, more killing. There's nothing that America has done without bloodshed or crime. And so when you try to be American, you're going to be a criminal because America is criminal. Just think the president that's in office right now was found guilty of 33 counts. Guilty of all counts.
I think some of them were a little ridiculous, but regardless, he's done
Whether
lots of shady stuff though.
Ridiculous or not, that court found him guilty. But they're able to make a provision. If you run for president, you don't go to jail.
Yeah.
That's America. So when we try to make it seem like, well, black people are committing crimes, yes, black people commit crimes, white people commit crimes, everybody commit crimes. Where the racism comes in and it's not controlled by us is, what do you think the reason is that they even make a black and white crime statistic? To keep us racist. Like they'll get mad at me and you for the way that we speak. But if you just wanted it to be about crime, it wouldn't be blacks commit this crime and whites commit this crime. It would be Americans commit this crime. The reason why they make it black and white is so that blacks and whites can have racial conversations and racial hatred for each other to perpetuate. Yes, because America thrives off of that. America thrives off of the fear of black people. And so white people will always do things to keep them in this place, because it was never meant, when the forefathers founded this country, it was never meant for them to see a place where, they wasn't meant to roam free. It wasn't meant to roam free. We was meant to be in a slave condition. And so it was a white nation. That's why when Trump says make America great again, in the eyes of all white people, that's what they believe it is, putting us more in our place so that they can have more of the country. And so you'll hear white people say, we're losing the country, we're losing the country. I don't know the who.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your thoughts though about like immigration, people come from other countries? Do you think we should allow that or not allow that?
I don't think anybody should be in this country illegally. That's what the rules say. But what I hate about the immigration and ICE is that they're making Latinos be the face, when there's Ukrainian immigrants, illegal immigrants, there's Chinese illegals, there's illegal Africans, there's illegal everybody. And so that propaganda is so when we torture these Latinos, nobody says anything. So that's what makes it racial. Yeah. Like America is the fuel for American government, American statistics, all of it. Yeah, you should. It should. Yeah.
Who's going to?
When have you seen them? When have you seen them raid East Indians' home? East Indian graduation.
They're bringing a lot of the Indians over and giving them the good jobs.
Yeah.
To me, that's a big fucking, like, why are we giving our good jobs away to fucking Indians? And I don't hate Indians, but I don't want to give our good jobs.
Same thing with Africans. They doing all of this, bringing all these people over here.
Good jobs.
Instead of the Americans. Let the Somalis come in and take, some Somalis took some money from them out in Minnesota or something like that.
There's a lot of them. I don't know much about it.
I don't feel sorry for no Somalians.
Blacks? I don't. You don't look at them as your brothers.
No. Africans are just that. Africans.
I've noticed, I've noticed a tension between American blacks and Africans. A lot of people don't realize that.
Africans are pieces of shit for this regard, because Africans will actually feel disdain for black people when every single right and privilege that they have when they come over here is because of what we did. When the civil rights that they get to take advantage of is because of us. The equal rights, any right that an immigrant, especially these Africans, get, comes directly from what we did, and then they come over here and think they're better than us. I hate Africans.
Shocked by like kind of how the African blacks have like spoken about American blacks. I've been like, damn.
Well, see, because historically, the Africans are the ones that sold us to white
They
people.
betrayed you, stabbed you back. So I guess that's clearly not your brother.
Yeah, it couldn't be.
Like we don't know it's certain African tribes, I guess, but the ones that did,
well, they knew exactly who they were selling.
That's the scummiest of scum. Just betraying your own people. That's worse.
Well, we were different. It's like even Africa, is a continent, so it was just tribal. So it was one tribe selling another tribe. So the Hamites, who are Africans, were selling the Israelites that was living in Africa. That's all. And so we don't have no affiliation with them. So I kind of expect them to be that way. I just hate that my people still have this affinity for Africans when it's not necessary.
They try to be like the same. You get both. Some try to be like, that's my people. That's the homeland. Other like, so you have no interest in going to Africa or any of that type of shit.
No, I have
what
no
about
interest.
going to Israel? You want to stay in America?
I've been to Israel
would you want to take that land or no?
If I could bring all my people over there, yeah. So like
the
when
Palestinians a little better,
we would treat everybody better. And that's again, like when I brought that Bible verse which he didn't respond to, it says, when the righteous are on authority, the people rejoice. If they were the children of God, they would treat the Palestinians better. They would treat the Ethiopians better. They would treat the blacks that come over there. They would treat all of them better because that's what God said to do. You're not supposed to be unaliving the Palestinians unjustly. The Ethiopians unjustly. You're not supposed to be bombing children. You're not supposed to be doing none of that. Them gays that they got over there, they ain't supposed to be having none of that gay stuff. So if we were ruling, the earth would be a better place. It wouldn't be so criminal. There wouldn't be no need for bombing everybody just for the sake of bombing. It wouldn't be necessary at that point.
People that don't know, the Judaism is supposed to treat all Jews equally, but there's several different categories. And the Ethiopian ones, they treat the worst. They were like giving them, they were sterilizing them without telling them, birth control. Where did you say they put them by like the nuclear plant?
Yeah, they put the children of Dimona, they put them by a nuclear power plant and say, y'all can have this land.
Like, oh no, we treat them equal.
Yeah, we treat everybody good. No, they treat them like shit because they pieces of shit. And so if it was up to me and we could bring all my people there, that's what Christ would do. In Christ's return.
What do you think Christ was? Think he was black?
Yeah, Christ definitely was black. He was black. The Bible says he has hair like wool, skin of bronze.
Is it really?
Yeah. Revelations 1 and 13. Yeah,
hair I was like surprised wool, earlier. I looked up the Bible and it was talking about the Jews. They said they will be, what did it say? They'll be taken in ships to a land far away they've never known.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
Lose their heritage.
Yeah. And it says they'll be sold for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, meaning redeem you. And we're the only people, when you think about America for black people, is like a halfway house. Like when you're in jail, you locked in prison, that's slavery. And then at a certain time when you're getting close to getting out of jail, they give you a halfway house. So sometimes you can come home. It's not as oppressive. That's what America is for black people. It's a halfway house. It could never be a real home because of how we were brought over here.
If you were given large chunks of land, you feel like you could make it.
If that was given to us now, that's a way to, that's like retribution almost. Like, so if America was to say, we apologize for what we did for slavery, this is how we make amends, then America could be a home. But America has never acknowledged the wrong. What I mean by acknowledge, I'm not talking about saying it was wrong. I'm not talking about so-called abolishing. I'm talking about the same action you would do to make amends for anybody that you've done wrong.
Yeah. Well, they've given land to Native Americans. That's interesting. They haven't given any chunks of land for black communities.
I think the $5 Indians are the ones that have taken advantage of that, meaning imposter Indians have taken advantage of that more than actual natural Indians have taken advantage of that. But you don't just have that. You got the Mexicans and the land taken from them. You got the Taino Indians and the land taken from them, the Seminole Indians and the land taken from them. And so for us, it's a hell. And so now if the white man was to ever, try to rectify the situation, then we could have a difference. The feel of America would be different for us. But the feel of America can't change because America hasn't changed.
I actually don't want to give money away, but I would support giving like a large chunk of land somewhere and let people try to build a culture. And if people could build something their own,
and it wouldn't even be that difficult.
I know a white guy who's doing that right now for white people only. And he's getting sued by Jews because he's trying to build this white only community. Like, why can't you build a community of your own people? It's not even a whole county. It's like a town.
That's wild.
Right? It's just wild. couple more things. Got a couple more questions I got to wrap up. But,
no problem.
Well, so I'm trying to think of anything controversial I can get. People love the controversial shit. Well, it's not really controversial. What are several things both black people and white people you think could do better and to make this country better?
I think black people could be more loving to other black people and less loving to white people. And that would make the world a better place. Now, here's what I mean by that. So imagine, right now, when you turn on the news or you look on the internet, the propaganda is always how evil we are to each other, black people to each other. If we was to stop that, now you got nothing else to talk about. And now we could just focus on y'all being evil to each other. And then maybe y'all will stop being evil to each other because y'all don't see the play that the government is doing on y'all because y'all so fixated on us.
I think a lot of white people don't.
A
lot of white people don't. Yeah, they're tricked with this and that. It's the Muslims. It's this. I think the government's fucking us all.
I don't think you'll ever end the racial tension between blacks and whites.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because it's partially in our DNA and it's partially being manipulated by the media. I think it's both.
The media is like, it's definitely in our DNA, and the media plays a major role in pushing that envelope and
they push it much worse. We are way different than the media just trying to drive a wedge.
That's all the media does. Listen, the presidential race was racist on purpose. So they put Kamala Harris, says she's a black woman, got Donald Trump as a white man, and then they use racism to placate both sides. But then they tell us racism is over. So the greatest thing that we can understand, if the black race and the white race can understand the government hates us both.
Exactly.
You could probably learn a lot just from that.
They hate most white people too. That's
white people. If y'all, I know y'all probably don't want to take it from a black person telling you, but the government hates y'all almost as much as they hate blacks and Hispanics.
A lot of black guys won't admit that. And a lot of white guys, white guys don't want to admit it either.
And the only white people the government likes is rich white people. Yeah. If you rich and white, well, that's the same people to me.
Yeah, that's true. They are most of the rich ones.
Yeah, but if you're rich and white, if you're rich and a so-called Jew, the government loves you. If you're not, the government don't care about you. You're a pawn to whatever else that they got to do. And if we can learn that, maybe we wouldn't have as much tension. Yeah.
If everyone was doing better together without these fuckers manipulating us, there would still be differences, but I think there could be less, hatred. What's something white people could do better besides like racism, like something constructive?
Stop profiling black people.
But there are, but it's kind of hard when there's like a higher crime rate.
When you think about crime, right? There's 49 million black people.
Yeah.
I think the crime is, the gun violence is like 6,000, maybe 3,000 or 4,000. So that means there's millions of black people that are law-abiding citizens, take care of their family, don't cause any problems.
I agree.
So that stereotype that they put where
it's a small group that the same problems over and
it's
over.
a small group that the media portrays to be that way. And so if white people just treat it like, for example, when I go around white people, I don't profile you. I treat you as you are.
Yeah.
So if you're a decent acting human being, I'm gonna respond in kind. When white people see black people, the way that I'm dressed, they might say, I'm gonna stab them, I'm gonna rob them, or doing something, because that's the media portrayal of black people, because that's inherently in them. And if white people could learn to stop racially profiling, we would have less Karens, we would have less incidents with black people, it'd be less controversies, the world would be a better place. Because black people are just black men and black women trying to survive in a kingdom that was never designed for them.
Yeah.
Y'all are in a kingdom that's yours, and you still want to punish the descendants of slaves that had nothing to do with the condition that your ancestors put us in.
Yeah, I think I spent a lot of my life in San Francisco, and what happens there is there's a very small group, and there are white people in this group too, so it's not just black, but the cops let them just fucking rampantly go and like rob, steal shit. There's white people that do it too, but I'm able to profile the white people. They have a certain look about them as like the drug addicts. And I think that gets people being like, why the fuck are the cops allowing the same people just to do this shit over and over and over? But it makes people, they see a couple black people doing it, but it's the same small group.
So you're saying it's a small group of black people?
There are white people doing it too,
yeah.
so it's not just black people.
But they're committing the crime. But see, like how
Like the
you do
cops
that,
are
there are
kinda
white
like-
people doing it too,
No,
but they're black people doing it
There's a
too.
little more black people, but there are.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking of cases. I profile the white ones too, and I see the shady white motherfucker. I can see the way they look, like the fucking drug addicts.
So I mean, so that's what I mean. That's why I say I think it's better if white people stop profiling black people, and if we can get to a point of crime is just crime, and get rid of the profiling, I guarantee you would actually see an ease, because with the profiling, there's a spirit that goes across America where when a white person sees a black person, they immediately think criminal. When a black person sees a white person, is that way. If crime statistics, if the racial agenda wasn't pushed as much, we probably wouldn't have that. We would still have the disconnect that has to be worked out.
Yeah.
But if you can just start there by getting rid of the racial profile, and it would help out a lot. That's
We
what I
do
would say.
need somewhere. I mean, I don't know your opinions, but the inner cities, we do need to put like a lot of time. That's somewhere I'm willing to put money in. But I think the problem is it's a long process, and politicians don't
Of
want
what?
just to get those communities like uplifted with like jobs, education.
Yeah, no, that's the
This is kind of
community
a different issue.
Yeah, that's
But
the city's problem, because and that's another thing that's on purpose. So now you talk about something else, because
I kind of switched
every
up a little
city
bit.
no, not in a bad way. When I'm saying something else, meaning like that has to do with every city has a urban and suburban area. And you go into the suburban area, you see how the city takes care of that. The trees is planted, the grass is fertilized, the stores is taken care of. And then when you get into the black neighborhood, it's not taken care of. They make it seem like we have to be the one to take care of.
Nothing good, no good.
Exactly.
Businesses.
And so that's done intentionally too. So they make sure it's more liquor stores in our neighborhood than the white neighborhood. They make sure more fast food restaurants in our neighborhood than the white neighborhood. They make sure that other nations like the Vietnamese, the Arabs, and so forth can have their stores in our neighborhood, but it's not like that in your neighborhood. All of those things are done on purpose. So if you take that element away, our neighborhoods would be just fine.
Yeah.
Because now in our own community, we would have our own stores. Like in y'all community, your stores are run by people in your community.
So it should be all black people running the stores.
Yes.
Yeah. I think some's a confidence issue. I remember like about 6 months I was going to inner city teaching martial arts to kids. It was mostly all black, poor kids. I've been in the beginning, some of these kids wouldn't even look me in the eyes and stuff. They weren't used to being around white people. And you realize like by the end though, they get comfortable.
Because kids are raised like inherently, be careful. Like we're raised to not trust.
And I had a kid tell me that. People. He's like, man, I've never been comfortable around a white person. It's the first time I've ever like comfortable talking around a white. That was so crazy for me hearing that. He's like, I've always been scared around white people and nervous. And it's like, I was like a what the fuck moment to me.
That's your reputation with us. And so how do you get rid of that? You got to get rid of the racial profiling. I know I'll instill my kids to not be afraid of anybody.
Yeah.
Like you got to kind of break the chain of that.
Make them have no problem coming up, looking at a white guy in their eyes,
looking at anybody.
Just realize like, fuck, these kids had a hard time like in the beginning. I realized at first they had a hard time getting comfortable.
Got to raise them to be a man.
Comfortable with me, then these kind of things are good, I think, though, because it gets these kids like, oh, I'm laughing, having a good time around a white person, and no one's really doing those type of programs. And unfortunately, I stopped doing this. It's not like I can talk, but no one paid me anything for that. Like, why don't they put some money into like putting these programs and getting people? I mean, I think it mostly should be led by black people, but there should sometimes be like white people brought into these areas to interact with these kids in a positive manner. And like, because I even brought cops over a couple times and had the cops laughing with these kids and stuff. And that's such a rare thing, having like white police, like
because we see white police, boy, it'd be like, what these white people gonna do to us? We don't know.
Exactly. So trying to get a little more comfort between the two, and like it was. The police chief was thankful, gave me his card and shit. Unfortunately, something I stopped doing, but like that seemed like, that type of shit needs to be done, And I think mostly by black men, but it is good.
Yeah, there's a in Baltimore, the mayor in Baltimore started when he became mayor. He had got the murder rate reduced the lowest since like 1973, and he did it by bringing in more community-based programs into the community.
Yeah, I think that's
why I say like that's what the city has to do. The city, the mayors, they have to open up them rec centers. They have to open up all them places, boys and girls clubs. Like give kids an outlet or an avenue.
No money, no job,
or no access to just simple recreational games. You know, like
these kids couldn't afford to
keeping a
these
kid in the
martial arts
house all
academies are
day.
$200 a month. These kids can't afford that. That's why we're going over again.
Yeah,
like
and
free
then you're not
training.
letting them exert that energy. Like kids have energy that they need to exert, that they need to get out. They need to express themselves. And if you're closing the doors and not giving them access to nothing, they're gonna find somewhere else to get that energy and exert it. So when we gave them opportunities in Baltimore, Baltimore improved. And so that mayor gave a blueprint to what other urban areas can do to change the narrative. And that's create more opportunities. And if we had those opportunities created, we'd be just fine.
Yeah, and I'm all for putting money towards other programs. For certain things, I'm against throwing money towards, but shit like that, I would support. Anything else we should hit before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it, man. It was a pleasure. Okay.
I just want to look real quick to make sure there's none of the important ones I got, because I had a couple controversies. I think we kind of hit them all, though. I think it's from the obviously we're not going to agree on everything, but we can get along. We can have conversations. Right. We can be honest, share our opinions.
Definitely.
And not enough people can fucking do that. I had homosexuality. I think we addressed that. That was abomination.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
That's too difficult to get into. I like the KZRs and stuff, but I think we got enough covered. So,
I think so.
Yeah, we can do something in the future again. That was great. So.
Yeah, it was definitely a great interview. I appreciate you having me on, man. Look forward to doing some more stuff in the future.
Maybe people will be less scared of you seeing.
We'll see. We sat down and talked.
I agreed with a lot of what you said. No, everyone wants all Americans to be doing better. It helps everyone. If black people are doing better, it helps everyone.
Absolutely.
And I want my people to get off fucking drugs too.
Opiates, we all got to do that. Yeah.
We've been destroyed by that, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again.
All right, no problem, man. All right.
As many of you know, I have many controversial guests, so that comes at a cost of being demonetized everywhere. So if you want to support the program, go to fightbackpodcast.com, and I have all kinds of merch on there, whether it's jiu-jitsu, fighting, political, and other accessories. And thanks for the support.
Yeah, man. So another informative, another informative discussion. This wasn't a debate. This was more like a discussion, And you see, the most I say, we should not come together with the other nations. And you will find out that when we separate from the other nations, we live better with each other. Not just black people living and Hispanic living better with each other, but we will live better with the nations that we separate from. But when you force a lion and a tiger into the same, cage, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to fight for dominance, and one are going to overpower the next, one are going to oppress the next. This melting pot that America has created is a lie. It's oppression. That's why the Bible is pro-separation. And with that, we're going to close out, Yeah, man. So make sure to subscribe, share, follow, depending on the platform you're watching on. You understand? So with that, I'm out.
I need answers. How is it I can see perfectly through these pinhole glasses without my contacts in? I can see every leaf on that tree. They're called pinhole vision correction glasses. No prescription. It's just tiny little pinholes in the plastic lens. Apparently they train your eye to focus with just wearing them 20 minutes a day. So whether you're nearsighted, farsighted, or have astigmatism, they reduce your eye strain and help strengthen your muscles over time. I've worn them for about a week, and last night I noticed while driving, at night, there were less halos around all of the lights that were outside, which is extremely noticeable, especially since I've been seeing those halos for years. They're only $15, and I think today they're having a sale, so they're even cheaper than that. And you get free shipping. I'll leave the link right there.
You ever notice how every time you go to the eye doc, your eyes get worse and worse, and so your prescription has to get more and more severe? That's because glasses and contacts make your eyes lazy, and they start to basically build a tolerance to whatever it is you're working with, and then they get more and more degraded. But there are ways that you can work your vision out without glasses or contacts, and it's these pinhole glasses. Ask your eye doc, because you've definitely seen one of these at his office. Basically, the pinholes act as a tiny camera aperture, blocking out all the scattered out of focus light rays and only allowing in the narrow parallel light rays, and the result is your vision is much clearer without glasses or contacts. AKA your eyeballs are getting off the couch and getting the exercise that they desperately need. Now, people on the internet are saying that these are helping them correct their vision just by wearing them for 20 minutes a day without their glasses or contacts in. However, there are no studies showing that that is actually possible, and an industry has never buried study results before to protect themselves. Right? Anyway, these are on TikTok. They're super affordable, and I just started using them today, and it's insane how clear things look that are so far away from me that usually I would not be able to see whatsoever. It would just be a giant mesh Gaussian blur of bullshit, right? I put this in, and the way that it allows the light to come in, I can actually pinpoint and see these things far away. Pretty strange. If you want to give it a shot for yourself, click that, grab these, and get your eyeballs off the couch.